everybody? It's DJ MV, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are the Breakfast Club. We got a special guest in the building this morning.
And they said it never would happen.
That's right.
A repeat Donkey of the Day offender.
Right?
Kanye Kardashian is in the building.
Oh, man.
Don't
Kanye West is here. Good morning, sir.
What's up?
First and foremost, we got to talk about your performance and your show that you've been doing all over New York in the Barclays and Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, did you enjoy it?
Yeah. I didn't go see the show. They offered me tickets Saturday night for Sunday's show, and I got baby, so I couldn't go see the show. But I heard the show was amazing. I heard you have mountains. I heard you have snow. I heard it's one of the well, everybody's telling me that it's not your typical hip-hop show.
Well,
they said you get your full money worth out of it.
I actually went to the show last night.
Explain it a little bit.
Now I'm going to tell you certain things that happened from me and the audience. First of all, I think it made me like the new album a whole lot more than just listening to it. It's a whole different experience. And there was a little fight in my row at the show.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there was a scuffle because there were some white guys in the row and they were getting upset during the part of the show where you talk. And I guess they didn't like and one of them actually used the N-word. And then the people in front of them got upset and everybody started kind of scuffling. And they were like, if you have a problem, just leave. Just get out of here if you have a problem with it. So is that something that typically happens? Do some people get offended?
I've never heard of that happening in my show before, but that's interesting.
Now, question: why? When you did this show, of course, the show seems like it costs a lot of money, and I know most hip hop shows it's usually not that expensive. A lot of rappers and not too much of the I say the hoopla, and you had a lot of hoopla. I'm hearing. So why did you want to take so much pride into this show?
Well, I'm just a creative. I'm more like a Walt Disney or something. Like rap is just a chamber of my thoughts. It's something that I really wanted to express as a modern day, poet. Because if I had lived in a past lifetime, maybe I would have been a playwright or something. But in this lifetime, to be the most turnt, the most relevant is to be a rock star. Right. You know what I'm saying? And you can express, at the highest level there. And for me, I came from art school and everything. I would draw out all these ideas and all these concepts, and the more and more I get to create, the younger and younger and younger I feel. So, when I did Glow in the Dark, I felt young, felt like I was 5 years old. When I, got into a little trouble and stuff, I felt like I had to grow up. Right. I did Dark Fantasy, then I felt like I was 10. Then I did, Blueprint 3, then Watch the Throne, then Cruel Summer. And then when I got to, Yeezus, I just felt frustrated. And usually I would start the album with like Blood on the Leaves. I know everybody would even like the album more if I did that, but I felt so frustrated in the way I've been marginalized and held back.
Why do you feel so frustrated? You say that a lot. Like, why? Yeah. I remember you from being outside the studio trying to get people to hear you rap. You was a great producer, but nobody believed you as a rapper. And then it seems like you got to a point where everybody's loving the way that you rap. Now you just seem like you're more frustrated.
Do you not like the reception Jesus has gotten? Because I didn't like the album at all. And I was a Kanye West fan. Yeah. But Jesus was whack to me.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. But so what were you saying?
I was asking about the whole Yeezus, like what makes you so frustrated?
Yeah, it's not about Yeezus. It's about, Michael Jackson was told he couldn't play videos on MTV because he was considered to be an urban artist. Right. So if I start talking about clothing, everybody's going to talk about urban clothing line. What I'm trying to say is it's 1,460-something billionaires in the world. I don't know exactly because somebody might have thought of a new tech idea and they companies valued at what? So 1,470 billionaires. There's only 7 black ones, and we know some of the most famous ones, stuff like Oprah or whatever. So, in order to really impact and be in a position of power at this point, you got to be a billionaire. It ain't about being a superstar. I don't know nobody that sells a lot of records and gets a lot of radio spins that's actually a billionaire either. We get into so much of arguing with each other that we're not looking at the main thing. But what I did with Yeezus is I took the power into my own hand. I wanted to remove, the hits from it. I wanted to remove the chorus. There's a chorus, Blood on the Leaves and Bound. It's got a chorus, I resolve the album and let everybody know it's all good at the end of it. But it's not all good, like I said, I'm from Chicago. People is dying every day, and everybody think we're gonna do a benefit concert and help that out. But I need to be put in a position to be able to apply my thoughts, the same thoughts. You know, before I came in the game, rappers is killing each other. You ain't even heard about that no more. The first time rappers rapped on a song with each other that were at a God level, all of them was Swagger Like Us. After that, all the songs was like Swagger Like Us. The thing is, we not each other's enemies. I'm showing us how we can work together. You know, but in fashion or whatever, or you know, product design, they try to marginalize us and say we can only have an urban clothing line or we can only do this. And of course, we're going to have an urban clothing line, we're going to wear it to death, and then it's gone. Now, meanwhile, Ralph Lauren can build his story up, you know what I'm saying, show his family, but, you know, I'm showing my family. And I think, actually, I have a love-hate relationship with the paparazzi, but actually I love them because they empowering us. They empowering us over, you know, a Graydon Carter or a Vanity Fair that want to say, you know, Kate Upton is Marilyn Monroe. Kate Upton ain't Marilyn Monroe. Kim Marilyn Monroe. You know that. She was controversial. She controversial. This is reality. I'm living inside of a dream world. To me, don't nothing matter to me except for the people and the way I can affect them. I almost lost my life. I lost my mama. I went from, like, you know, Jay-Z being my idol, still is my idol, to him being across the stage on me. So I know that anything is possible. And I know when they hold me down. My BS meter is at an all-time high.
Yeah, but what you accomplishing so much. What's so
man, they want to hear him talk, man. No, yeah. They want this man to throw them blows, man. That's what they waiting for. They waiting for Charlamagne to tap these gloves and go at Ye.
I'm not trying to throw blows, but this is what I want to know.
Let's go.
Like, to me, it seems like you're such a walking contradiction because you'll denounce the corporations, but then you'll get on stage and say you need Nike and Adidas to back you. That makes no sense to me.
100%.
But how can you denounce the corporations, say F the corporations, and say you feel like a slave, but then ask the companies to back you?
It ain't that I feel like a slave. We are mentally enslaved. We enslaved to brands. We enslaved to, like, a bin symbol. We enslaved to chains. A woman is enslaved to the concept of diamonds are a girl's best friend. Like, girls in London don't even wear engagement ring. That's all been programmed into us. When we born artists. We born free, and then we held down by society's perception of us. We just don't want to be embarrassed. And I took the opportunity to look at stupid as possible. I'm saying, when I was in Chicago and watched The Throne, I was going to change my outfit to some normal leather pants and stuff. And they tailored it. One was too tight. Then the next one ripped on me. And I felt like God was like, nah, man, you can't be scared in Chicago because there's a bunch of gangsters and that's where you grew up. I want you to wear that kilt in Chicago. I want you to release that fear. I want you to show as an artist that you could create to the highest level. You know what I'm saying? So,
what that got to do with you denouncing corporations, but then still asking corporations to be in business with you? That's where the contradiction comes in. That's where you confuse.
I'm not denouncing the corporation. I'm denouncing the people that have the job at the corporation at that time. Because, you know, when I wanted to get my deal, it was A&Rs that don't work there no more telling me how I needed to work with another rapper or how I wasn't a rapper and blah, blah. And now it's people that's at the corporations. They got the ability and the facilities that if I put my genius to it, that I can affect culture in a higher way, the way I affected people when I made them Louis. Right. And I affected people when I made them Yeezys. So I ain't going at Nike as a corporation. I'm going at the people that's running the corporation. And I'm saying, I'm going to hit you in the chest until you listen to me, because you feel like you ain't got to take no meeting with me. So I'm going to turn up and I'm going to show you what we are. We World War Z. We going to run over that mountain until you listen to me, because I'm influential. The reason why I'm influential, same reason why you want me to come to your show or you want me to wear your product, is the same reason why you got to involve me and you got to cut me in. You know what I'm saying? People got fat without me. You cutting me in, because people be having negotiations. When I was negotiating with Nike, they said, okay, cool, Kanye, you've been screaming up and down, we're going to give you a deal for Yeezy finally, because they was marginalizing me. Let me only design 2 shoes over a 5-year period. People talking about the Red October, that's the design for 3 years ago. You know how many ideas I got? You know what I'm saying? So they try to marginalize me, and then they say, look, we're going to give you $4 million a year to design this. I said, what about royalties? They said, look, you know, you're not a professional athlete, so you don't get no royalties. I said, look, man, I go to any of these arenas and play one on nobody. I'm a performance athlete, and more than being an athlete, I'm Walt. I'm like Howard Hughes. I'm like David Stern. I'm like Steve Jobs. If anything, that's a compliment to them. I'm like Michelangelo, because I'm the new version of that. And anybody that backs me is going to be the Medici family that backed Michelangelo at this point. You know what I'm saying? So when they told me I couldn't get no royalties, it's like, wait a second, you want me to work for Nike for 2 more years? I can't. What I tell my daughter in 2 years that I've been working trying to make Nike still hot, and I still don't have, you know, the backing to really support and protect her, because she in a position of a level of royalty like the Prince and the Princess out in London, but they got more paper. They got heritage. Me and Kim, we on our grind. We had to do what we had to do to get to this point to be able to support our family, but we ain't there yet. We ain't financially there to the point to make sure that North is safe at all times, and that's the reason I'm turning it up right now.
Let me ask you a question. Now, you mentioned something about, when you came out doing the record and you said nobody believed and the A&Rs are fired.
Yeah.
Dame was one of those people that believed.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen you it ever. But the first thing people said was when Dame and Jay split, why did you decide to go with Jay and not Dame, since he was the one that had your back when nobody listened and nobody was listening?
That was really big, brother.
Yeah, you know what it was? It's because, last night, I think what people call a rant, what I call a visionary stream of consciousness, it was better. Like right now, this morning, it's better because my voice is hoarse. Mm-hmm. The problem is when I get too loud, it's just too loud. You know what I'm saying? If you know how people, come in the studio, play their music, they play it so loud for you and they make you think you like a beat. Mm-hmm. And you don't even know if you like it now. You just like blew somebody's ears out and stuff. So when I'm talking, a lot of times it's like I'm blowing people's ears out. My technique is too harsh. I'm beating it up too harsh. And the problem was, with Dame, his truth was more accurate and more closer to what mine was, but his technique was harsh for me as a young kid and stuff. I felt like a little bit more pressure.
Dame was an ass. He was an ass.
And Jay-Z's was a nice guy.
Right.
And also, I felt like I had that truth that Dame has in him. We the same. Mm-hmm. Like me and Cam, me and Dame, we the same. But I wanted to learn this technique that Jay got of actually being likable. Like when I was doing Watch the Throne, one of the main reasons why I did it was to learn, Jay's techniques of how he talked to people. Man, I be talking to people the wrong way sometimes.
Me too.
I be rubbing them the wrong way. Yeah.
You guys are like the same over there, but go ahead.
Yeah, so Jay-Z know how to move in a room full of vultures, you know what I'm saying? And I, as his little brother, I needed to learn that technique because I got something that God want me to give the world. I'm only doing 1%, one small iota of the work, or else he would have killed me in that car accident, or else I wouldn't have came back from Taylor Swift, or else I would have ended up with somebody wanting me for my money versus somebody who will actually buy me something for my birthday. Mm-hmm.
Now, listen, you also said you don't listen to nobody in these corporations that's older than you. But that made no sense to me because we all got a birthday. So one day you're going to get older. What if somebody has that same train of thought to you?
I ain't saying they got to listen to me. They got to choose if they want to listen to me. But one thing, an example somebody gave me, they said, I'm wiser than you. I'm this, I'm that. I was like, you ain't cutting no check, though. If you older and you wiser, then you should have enough money and a position of power to cut me a check. Before I gave...
Money has nothing to do with wisdom, yeah. Come on now.
Well, I'm saying when I gave Big Sean any advice, I gave him a deal first. Now, the thing is, if Big Sean come up and rap for me, and I give him some advice, but I don't give him a deal, at that point, I'm sunning him. Mm-hmm. I'm like, take that advice and go run with it. No, we ain't Jewish. We don't got family that got money like that. The rappers became a new family. Dame created a family at Rockefeller and stuff. A family for these young boys from the hood to do a clothing line, to do that, to that. This whole time, he was fighting for Jay. He was up at the label fighting for Jay, and he the one that ended up getting ousted out of it. Right now, I'm in the fashion world fighting for Kim. If we broke up, I would be the one that's looked like as an asshole. I would be the Dame of the situation, right, and she would be the Jay of the situation right there. So it's, man, that's my point to that.
Now with all your artists, with Big Sean and with Pusha T and with all your artists, I mean, there's things that I do sometimes that Charlamagne Yee don't like. Are they that open with you if they say, you know what, I didn't like this type of record?
Yeah, we heard when Big Sean was up here and he said that he didn't...
He said it wasn't his favorite album.
Jesus was his least favorite album. You dropped him from good for a little minute.
No, I ain't never dropped him from good, but I'm going to tell you something. Everybody who make good music on good music. Drake on good music. Ross on good music. If you make good music, you on good music. This ain't about no wrestling team. This ain't about a basketball team. This ain't me putting on a jersey for David Stern and going my best and having a Mandingo fight in front of the corporations. This ain't about that. This is about us coming together because we have strength.